Good morning. This is Tom Styles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show. And what you're looking at is my new radio. And this radio can receive HF stations, international broadcast stations. It can receive local police EMS. RMS? Oh boy, am I getting old. Jeez. EMS. It can receive music. It can receive regular AM radio stations. It can receive everything. And there's no problem with weather conditions. It doesn't care. Well, unless they're extreme like a hurricane. Yeah. We thought we were going to get a hurricane there, but I think it's gone. I think it's going to fizzle out. I hope it's going to fizzle out. Please fizzle out. Anyway, I want to show you this little radio here. Let me move my little Hawaiian girl away out of the way. Away out of the way, ooh la la. Oh gosh, I haven't had too much tea this morning. Anyway, let me zoom in here so you don't see all the clutter on my desk. And there it is. This is the Grace Digital Wi-Fi radio. Now, what does that mean? That means it does not have a receiver per se. It does have a Wi-Fi receiver, wireless Wi-Fi receiver, although I think it has it even has a connection so you can connect directly to your router, whatever, to your network, and receive all kinds of stations. Right now, it's on my local Pinellas County Fire and EMS station via radioreference.com. And I told you in a previous videos that my handheld scanner or even my table scanners have gone deaf because the local Pinellas County system has gone with a digital trunking system. It's part of it's encrypted, part of it's not. The part that I can get on the internet and now via this radio is not encrypted, and that's what it's tuned to right now. And I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, so right now it's showing kind of a, let me turn a light off here for a second. That didn't help. Crummy webcam I got. It's showing a generic cover page, album cover page, since this is not really an album music per se, and it's got this generic one that it shows in those cases. And what I was able to do is you register the radio on the internet, and then on their website, Grace's website, then you can select stations that you want this radio to listen to. Or you could do it manually on the radio. Now, in this case of the Pinellas County EMS, it, of course, was not in their database.
Contact Bravo, Rescue 33, Engine 35.
Okay, let's
Motor
turn.
vehicle collision, West Coast cars and trucks, 8391, U.S. Highway 19 North, 3507B. Rescue 33, Engine 35, Contact Bravo.
We're having a lot of accidents this morning. Let me turn this down. Because we've got a light rain, and that's the worst condition for highway traffic. Lots of accidents this morning, so I've been listening to the Pinellas County Fire EMS. Anyway, so you can go on the website and you can find the, for this case, the radio reference link, and then you can add it to your stations on the website, and then it will synchronize to the radio, and then it's available on the radio. Let me back up here and I'll show you that specifically. So to go back and go back, and so here's, well, I'm going to go even back. So this is the main screen. See if I can make it show up a little better. Boy. No. I mean, it's really, really colorful. I don't know which is better. Probably neither. Go back again. I think the camera is too close is one problem. So let me readjust the camera and see if that helps. Because everything seems to be a little bit out of focus. Nah, just my crummy camera. I'm sorry. No, it's got a neat interface, digital interface. But my crappy camera is really struggling to show you what I wanted to show you. Anyway, you can see every once in a while it gets everything right. Yeah. Let me see if I can manually correct this, and maybe I'll just start over. Let me see. Turn the brightness down. Let's turn audio off. Ooh, there we go. That's a lot better. Let's leave it there for a while. You want to save these changes? No, I don't want to save those changes. Okay. Now, that's a little better. And let's readjust the camera because you don't really need to see the button. So I've got the lights off here. And let me turn one more off. Whoops, that didn't get turned off. Okay. Now, this is the generic album cover. If it's not really an album, this is the generic one that they put up, has their name on it, Grace. So, what was I saying? I don't know. I was going to go back. Okay, whoops, let me go back. Okay, here's the main menu. And from there, you can select all these options. You can select the generic internet radio, which it has a listing of all the things in its database that you can pick from and listen to. And it does cover some of the emergency local stations, but it doesn't cover all of them, of course. And so it did not cover Pinellas County. So I had to go and manually set that up. And I'm not going to try to show you that right now. If there's some interest in this radio, I can do some additional shows to show you some more details, like how to set up this station it's listening to right now. Okay, the next one is Pandora. And then there's iHeartRadio. If you have a Sirius XM satellite subscription, you can listen to that here. And then there's Radiocom, which is another website for music. And then there's music services. Then there's My Stuff, which that's what I'll show you this time. And there's a media player so that you can plug in the back. It has a port, a USB port, so you can plug a memory stick in there with your music and have it play your music that you put on a memory stick. And then there's alarms, 7 alarms, and I'll go into that a little bit today. Weather bug, give you weather information. Auxiliary in, it has an auxiliary input in the back, so if you want to plug in your MP3 player or your phone in the back, you can use the amplifier and the settings that are contained in this radio, because the sound is excellent. It's only one speaker, but the sound is excellent. I couldn't ask for any better sound. And you can see that it's, well, let me turn the light back on for a second so I can show you the size of the radio, since I didn't do that before. Let me zoom back out. So here's the size of the radio. It's about the size of a normal tabletop radio. It's got a bunch of buttons on it for different functions. Over here you have pre-select buttons that you can set up for stations that you want to listen to, or music you want to listen to. And then down here are some of the buttons for when you're listening to your music off of the USB port. You can select different tracks and move forward, move backwards, whatever. So let's go back 1 second, and I'll go back. That's showing up pretty good even with the light on now. Amazing what happens. Okay, so what I was interested in, and by the way, this radio was donated to me for doing this review. And what I was interested in is in here. Let me go back. I skipped forward to my stuff. That's where you can add things that are not in any of these other options. You can add your own stations. And so we go to my stuff, and then here's my history of stations that I've listened to in the past, but I didn't say include those. I just had listened to them, so later on I can listen to them. Here is my stations. That's stations. What you do, one option is you go on their website, you register, and then you have an account, and then on your account you can search for stations that they have in their database. That's beyond the stations that are in the options on the radio when you get it. So you can go in there and search for things like I found, for instance, I found a scanner in Anchorage, Alaska, in their database by searching on the Genera News, and it was on that list. And I found a bunch of other ones that were on that list, and I'll show you those quickly. So that's one way you can get stations into this radio. And let me go back. So that's my stations, and I can select that. This button here is the select button, and this list is this. Whoo! Too much tea. This. I may have to go to the bathroom here in a few minutes. Okay, quit going back. Give me a chance. Okay, so this is the ones that I've selected that were on their website, and you can see the first one is that Anchorage station. The next one is China Radio. That was in their listing. There's 2 China radios. Actually, there's 4 or 5, and I selected 2 of them. Another one is a internet program called Science 360. Of course, it's about science. The next one I haven't really listened to is Roswell UFO Radio. I haven't listened to that. The next one is another China radio station. Like I said, there's a bunch of them. There's a BBC radio, which I've never gotten BBC on my shortwave radio that good. And there's another one called Frequency Cast. That's a monthly podcast about shortwave listening. There's an old time radio network. We're listening to old shows. Here's a scanner that was in their database at Cape Cod. I have a friend that lives in Cape Cod. Here's another sci-fi radio station. Here's a sci-tech talk show. I mean, it's just endless. These are just the ones that I found real quickly. Here's Twit TV. They do, of course, Leo Laporte does technical shows all the time. And then I think that's the last one. Nope, here's another one, which is NOAA Radio in Peoria, where my daughter lives. And the database is just huge. And this is just some few that I picked to begin with. The next one is stations that are not in their database, but are streaming on the internet. And this is where you have to manually go find the link, the internet link to their streaming channel. And so, since Pinellas County EMS was not in their database, I had to go do this manually and add it to my streams. Here's my streams. And here's a few that I've added that weren't available directly. One is in Pinellas County. And I said from Thomas because he's the one that helped me figure out how to do this. Let me go back again. And then here's a Chicago scanner, again close to my daughter. And then here's the Alaska scanner that I found after I found the one that was in their database. So you can see there's a ton of stuff. So this is basically a computer interface to Wi-Fi stations, I'll call it, be it Wi-Fi radio stations, international stations, NOAA weather, fire EMS scanners through radio reference, whatever. You can get all this through this radio, and of course this radio is doing that by connecting to your Wi-Fi interface to the internet. That's how it works. So when you're using it, it's using up some of your Wi-Fi bandwidth. I haven't noticed any degradation of my bandwidth, so most of this data stream is pretty, how should I say, it doesn't use a lot of bandwidth, so it doesn't seem to tie down or reduce my bandwidth. So I just wanted to show you this radio. Like I see, it's got so many options. For instance, let's just go back and we'll go to my stuff and we'll go to, see, was it my streams? I don't think so. No, back. I may not have added my local one. Let's see, I got Anchorage Elastic Weather. Let's see, is that my local one? No, that's Peoria. Well, what I can do is, I was going to say, I haven't even added my local NOAA weather station, but I should be able to go back and down under WeatherBug. Let me see what that does for me. WeatherBug is a website to give you weather information. So here's the weather information. It shows you a little pictorial, which shows you cloudy, or today it's overcast and starting to rain. And then here's the predictions for the rest of the week. So what I need to do, I can see now, is I need to add my local NOAA weather station. Okay. Now, what did I want to show you? I want to show you something else. Oh, alarms. This is a cool feature. Set alarms. You have 7 alarms you can set, and you can tell it to either be just your typical alarm, you know, where it buzzes or beeps or whatever, or you can have it be one of your stations. So what I did is I've programmed all 7 of them, and I've got a list right here. Can't read, of course. Yeah, maybe you can. There are the 7 stations that I've programmed in these alarms. And what it does is, during the day, it will go tune these various stations for me. For example, if I start at first thing in the morning, 5 a.m., it tunes to the local Pinellas County scanner. And so I get to listen to the early morning scanner traffic. And the one thing that I have not been able to control, and there may be a way of doing this, I haven't figured it out, is I guess the default is for an alarm, it stays on that station. Let's put it this way. It turns the radio on when the alarm time comes up, but it only stays on for 1 hour, and then it turns it off. So the next one, let me see, I'm trying to do these in order because they're not listed in order. I get close. Is at 9 a.m. I listen to a station called Daily Electronics. At 2 p.m. I listen to music, because that's usually when I'm doing work in my office, background music, and it's a station called Chill Out. At 4 p.m. I listen to old time radio. 6 p.m. I have it select the Daily Science Tech channel. At 8 p.m. I select the Science 360, and the one I skipped was at 7 p.m., which is when my friend Spencer over in China does his show on China radio at 7 p.m. So I've got all 7 alarms utilized, and of course you can change these to anything you want to, and I will be updating them as I get a chance to listen to these and find out whether I like them or not. For instance, I wasn't too impressed with Science 360, so I may drop that one and put another one in its place. So that's the 7 alarms I've set up. I wish I could find a way to have it stay on, the radio stay on until the next alarm happens. But what it's doing right now is it stays on for 1 hour, and then it turns the radio off, and then when the next alarm comes up, turns it back on that station. So that's the alarms. So that's a kind of a quick overview of this radio. Again, this is the Grace digital radio, and it doesn't have a tuner or anything. It doesn't have any antennas. The stations are not affected by the weather conditions. For instance, China radio is as good, any day of the week, 24 hours, and you don't have any problems where the station's not there. It's a way of cheating, especially for shortwave. But if you have something you really want to listen to, and you don't want to be vulnerable to weather conditions and whatever, trying to listen to it on shortwave, this is the way to go. Now, there's no scanning capability of this radio, so you can't scan it, but you can listen to anything that's on the internet with this radio. And I say anything because you have that option of going onto their website and finding data streams that's not in their database and adding it to your radio. So that's the show for today. Again, if you're interested in me doing some more reviews of this radio, you can. The best thing to do is send me an email to TRRS73@gmail.com, or you can leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. Bye-bye.